Thank you very much for sharing challenges actually across continents. Questions, please. Yeah.
My question goes to the last speaker. Fortunately, I am very involved in this Fulani-headed issue. And my question goes like this. What is your take on the ISIS West Africa province? What is your take on the ISIS West African province relations with the crisis in the northeastern part to the Middle Belt region of Nigeria? I would want you to take this into consideration. Take note of the precision attacks on military targets by unknown gunmen and getting away with it. Take note of the same pattern of attacks on civilian targets, particularly farmers, and the same people get away with it without being apprehended. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on a second. Would you like to respond first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. When you said ISIS West Africa, I assume you are referring to the Boko Haram or the conglomerate of all the violent groups in the northern Nigeria. Is that correct?
Well, if you know, Boko Haram is split into two. About 2 years ago, you had another faction of Boko Haram led by al-Barnawi. Al-Barnawi was trained in Iraq.
Yeah.
And he came back to establish a system today in Nigeria, headquartered in Nigeria. While al-Barnawi has a wing, Sheikh Al has his own wing of Boko Haram.
Yes.
The Sheikh Al wing, of course, we all know, are not as literate, are not as precise, are not as lethal as what al-Barnawi has. So it is obvious al-Barnawi has better capacity, better understanding, and better training. So that is, I want you to relate what al-Barnawi group is doing in relation with the presence of ISIS West Africa. Don't forget, and I know you would have heard about that, that including a son of a very prominent chief judge was associated with the al-Barnawi group.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that input. Yes, there is a faction by the Mediation, and there is a version of this explanation for the violence that is going on in Nigeria by Mediation, supported by the Council of Fube Fulani. I forgot the name of the council. And I happen to agree that even though most people do not buy that explanation, I think, because when I read about I was in Nigeria for my dissertation research, and I read about the arrest in Zamfara along Gusau Road of a truck that has several numbers of weapons in it, and also another arrest in Abuja. About 2 other arrests in Abuja. So the first thing that came to mind is we cannot broadly state that the federal government is not interested in bringing these criminals to justice. So yes, the fashion of Mediation and other groups, even some now in the South, is that it is not unlikely that this renegade, these herdsmen these people that present themselves as Fulani herdsmen might not really be real Fulani herdsmen. They might be a faction of Boko Haram that cannot sustain the kind of attack that the federal government mounted on them in the Sambisa forest, that decided that instead of staying in one place where they can be regular targets of the military assault, then they should spread. And that seems logical. It is possible that it is these people that mix up with the legitimate Fulanis and are perpetrating this havoc. And rightly so, as you mentioned, the Albanawi faction, not only highly intellectual, I believe they have access to a lot of resources, and it is possible that they are funding this group. Yes, I believe that that's a possibility. The only issue I have is this, and I know, having served in the military myself, I believe that it is very easy for us to sit back in our armchair and blame the military, blame the government. Of course, there is corruption everywhere. Nigeria has been known for corruption for several years. Things are getting better, I believe. But unfortunately, even though sometimes we just blame government, what we are saying is that the government went too quick and too short by introducing the NGRR bill. What the government should have done is created that commission and let that commission be a fact-finding commission that will involve all the groups. If the Fulani herdsmen were involved in this conflict resolution and they abide by the terms of the resolution, then it will be clear to everybody that their men are not responsible, because it is possible that these people are not real Fulani herdsmen, that they are acting, they are perpetrating their criminality under the umbrella of Fulani herdsmen because they believe that would seem legitimate to Nigerians. So that's my response. I don't know if I answered your question very well, sir.
Well, we are on the path.
Let's get another
The second presenter, I want to start by thanking you. You chronicle the agitations that have taken place in Nigeria and what we have at the moment. Like you know, you don't build injustice upon injustice. It all started with Adakaboro in 1967, before he was crushed. You have the Civil War, we came out of that, and just in 1994, my brother Ken Sarawiwa was hanged while preaching peace. And he told the federal government he was a man of ideas and man of peace. But when they did what they did to him, he said, those who will come after him will come with violence. And that's what we are seeing. Now, you see a federal government that is insincere, that have taken sides when it's supposed to be an arbiter. Because what has emboldened the Mieti Allah people and the headers is because they see President Buhari as being sympathetic to their cause. If not, why will you want to wipe out an entire state as they are doing in Benue? Just to, find the, massage the ego or make certain people feel good. And again, at the root of all of this, in the East now you have an agitation. You have about 19 federal positions that has to do with security and military. All of them are from Hausa Fulani. Not a single person from the Southeast is appointed into the Security Council. And so when decision is taken, you have a section of the nation completely ostracized from taking decision in security. So we keep building, injustice upon injustice. And I want to assure you, this thing may not end soon. Because, like you hear the IPOB, every day they keep building. And the best way, is that your own presentation is more thorough, and the way forward. And that's why in 2019, by February next year, when we are going to have the federal election, it's going to be hot. Because in Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba, all of these people that have been victims of this attack, they are in a way determined. People have been driven away, so many have died, and yet you want them to vote for a party that seems not to protect them. So it's a vicious circle, and the way forward is that we need a government that will be impartial, that will be decisive and say, this is this, and so be it. But again, you said by your opening remarks that I don't know whether you are still a Nigerian or you are no longer a Nigerian.
Still a Nigerian.
all of us need to go back home and begin to find a way forward to help this. We can't solve it on the foreign land. We need to go home and see how we can be part of the process and provide a holistic leadership that will take care of all of this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, the panelists, for enlightening presentations. And thank you all for your contributions, and I hope the discussion continues. Thank you.